So if you're a subscriber of mine, I've always had YouTube for many years, but I never really did any content. I never really did any videos. The only one I ever really did any videos for or started doing videos for was Manuel Paulino, who is who you see right there. Manuel Paulino is a local teen from my city of Lawrence, Massachusetts. He was actually lured down to the Merrimack River at night to smoke a blunt with a fellow classmate, Mathew Borges, and he was actually beheaded and his hands were cut off down by that river. Now, I know the family reached out to the police and they tried to get help, but I guess the police considered him a runaway, even though the family never had any situations with him running away. They knew something was wrong right away, but it took quite a while to find his body. And he was not even that far from home. He was down the street. So I just wanted to give a recap. If you'd like more information on Manuel Paulino, I'm going to put the link in the description so that you can see a more in-depth of his case, the court cases, some of the family that speaks out, some of the news clips, as well as just the rundown of the story in general. I believe it's been about two and a half, almost 3 years. But this is Manuel Paulino. Borges sentenced to life in prison for beheading, eligible for parole in 30 years. Which is wow. He was stabbed 1,000,000 times before he even had his head cut off. Salem, Massachusetts, Mathew Borges, 18, was sentenced Tuesday to life in prison for the first-degree beheading murder of Manuel Valoria Paulino, 16, his Lawrence High School classmate. Now, I went to Lawrence High. My nieces go to Lawrence High, so this really hits home. Borges will be eligible for parole in 30 years. This was the maximum sentence Judge Helene could give under the law. Borges was convicted on May 14th of a gruesome killing and beheading of Valoria Paulino. A murder jurors agreed was premeditated and committed with extreme atrocity and cruelty. Prosecutors said Borges committed the crime because he was both jealous of Valoria Paulino and had homicidal tendencies. A large part of the trial revolved around the break-in planned at Valoria Paulino's Forest Street home in Lawrence. Numerous family members lived there with him. 4 young men testified Borges was tasked with getting Valoria Paulino out of his house and to the Lawrence riverfront while they broke in and robbed him of clothing, belts, and electronics on the night of November 18, 2016. After the burglary, though, Borges called and told them that he had killed Valoria Paulino, they testified. After 8 days of testimony, the jury deliberated for a little under 9 hours before reaching the verdict. Borges did not testify and no witnesses were called to his defense. Borges showed no reaction when the verdict against him was read May 14th. I'm not surprised. He's had no reaction all along. He looks like gone on the inside. No empathy, no compassion, no nothing. No one from Borges' family attended the trial, which spanned 10 days. However, Valoria Paulino's family members were present that day in the courtroom for the trial. They wore black t-shirts and hoodies with the boy's picture and name on it. Although he was 15 years old when he committed the murder, Borges was tried as an adult. So, I don't understand how he only got 30 years and he's eligible for parole. Maybe it's because he's crazy, but crazy people like that do beheadings and cut off arms should not be ever considered for parole. Sorry, not sorry. Justice for Manuel Paulino. The links will be in the description. I don't know if I would necessarily call that justice, but he's getting time.